Hello, I'm Sebastian. Welcome to 9 Trees podcast. Today, I will summarize and review the book. Another Way by Dave Whorton presents a distinct approach to building enduring companies, arguing that the dominant startup playbook is not the only path to success. Rather than optimizing for rapid scale, blitz funding, and quick exits, Whorton explores how founders can design businesses meant to last across decades. The book frames longevity as a strategic choice, shaped by ownership, governance, culture, and the pace at which a company grows. It highlights the trade-offs embedded in common venture-backed models and offers an alternative rooted in sustainable profitability, resilient operations, and long-term relationships with customers and employees. Whorton draws on patterns from companies that compound steadily, stay mission-driven, and remain adaptable without sacrificing stability. The result is a practical and thought-provoking guide for entrepreneurs, operators, and investors who want to align company building with durable value creation. It encourages readers to rethink success metrics and to build organizations that can thrive through multiple market cycles. I will give you key takeaways from this book. Firstly, rethinking the default startup script. A central theme is that many founders inherit a narrow definition of success: raise capital quickly, grow at all costs, dominate a category, then exit. Another Way challenges that default by showing how it can distort decision-making, encourage fragility, and force companies into timelines that may not match their markets or their missions. Whorton emphasizes that the funding model you choose is not merely financial, it shapes incentives, governance, risk tolerance, hiring, product strategy, and even customer promises. An alternative path begins by clarifying what kind of company you want to build and what trade-offs you are willing to accept. That means asking questions early. Do you want control and independence, or a board that expects rapid scaling? Do you prioritize durability and profitability, or market share at any cost? The book encourages founders to examine whether their business is suited to the typical venture trajectory and to recognize that steady compounding can outperform short-term acceleration over time. By reframing success as endurance, readers are invited to choose strategies that favor resilience, learning, and sustainable value creation. Secondly, designing ownership and governance for longevity, Whorton highlights how ownership structure and governance determine whether a company can remain focused on long-term health. In fast-growth models, control often shifts toward investors, and leadership can become accountable primarily to short-term metrics tied to financing rounds or exit valuations. Another Way explores the benefits of structures that protect mission, preserve strategic flexibility, and allow leaders to invest patiently in products, people, and operations. The book makes the case that durable companies treat governance as an operating system. It sets decision rights, conflict resolution methods, and accountability standards that outlast any single leader or market cycle. Readers are guided to think about shareholder alignment, board composition, and how to avoid incentive misfires that reward speed over quality or optics over fundamentals. The discussion also points toward practical implications, such as choosing financing sources that fit the company's time horizon, defining clear performance measures tied to customer value and cash flow, and building internal discipline so the business does not rely on constant external capital. Governance, in this view, is not paperwork, it is a strategic tool for protecting endurance. Thirdly, compounding growth through profitability and operational discipline. Another Way argues that companies built to last prioritize economic fundamentals that can withstand volatility. Profitability and cash generation are treated as strategic assets, not constraints. This approach does not reject growth. It reframes growth as something earned through customer value, strong unit economics, and repeatable operations. Whorton underscores how operational discipline creates options, the ability to invest in new initiatives, weather downturns, and negotiate partnerships from a position of strength. Readers are encouraged to focus on pricing power, customer retention, and sustainable acquisition channels rather than growth driven primarily by spend. The book also stresses the importance of measured scaling, expanding capacity, teams, and product scope at a pace the organization can absorb without breaking quality or culture. This mindset favors systems, process maturity, and continuous improvement, so the company becomes more efficient as it grows. Over time, these choices aim to create compounding advantages: a trusted brand, deep customer relationships, institutional know-how, and a balance sheet that supports long-term bets. The lesson is that endurance is built through many small, disciplined decisions that add up. Fourthly, culture as infrastructure, building teams that stay strong. The book treats culture as an essential layer of company architecture, especially for organizations intending to last for decades. Whorton emphasizes that culture is not a slogan. It is how decisions are made, how people treat one another, and what behaviors are rewarded when pressure rises. A longevity-focused company invests in hiring practices that prioritize character and adaptability, not just speed and pedigree. It also builds management systems that develop talent over time, preserve institutional memory, and reduce the constant churn that can accompany hypergrowth. Another way explores the role of trust, transparency, and fairness in sustaining performance, arguing that long-term outcomes depend on employees believing the organization will invest in them as they invest in them, as they invest in it. The book also highlights the practical side of culture: clear expectations, thoughtful incentives, and leadership behaviors that model patience, learning, and customer obsession. When markets shift, a strong culture can act as a stabilizer, helping teams respond coherently rather than fragmenting into silos. For readers, the takeaway is that enduring companies intentionally design culture early and reinforce it continually, because it becomes the foundation for resilience and execution. Lastly, strategic patience and adaptability across market cycles. Another way frames longevity as the ability to navigate multiple eras, changing technologies, customer preferences, competitive landscapes, and macroeconomic conditions. Whorton emphasizes strategic patience, the discipline to avoid reactive pivots driven by short-term noise, and instead make changes that strengthen the company's long-term position. This is paired with adaptability, because lasting companies do evolve, but they do so with clarity about what should remain constant. The book encourages readers to build organizations that can learn continuously through feedback loops with customers, careful measurement, and a willingness to refine products and processes. A key point is that durability comes from balancing exploitation and exploration, improving the core business while selectively investing in future opportunities. The approach favors optionality, maintaining enough financial and organizational capacity to pursue new initiatives without jeopardizing the base. It also stresses the value of reputation and relationships, which compound over time and can provide stability during downturns. For founders and leaders, the message is that long-lasting success is rarely a single breakthrough moment. It is an ongoing practice of thoughtful decision-making, prudent risk, and steady reinvestment. In conclusion, this book is best for founders who feel misaligned with the raise, fast, grow fast, exit fast narrative, as well as operators, executives, and long-term investors who want a clear framework for building durable value. If you are leading a company in a niche market, a services to software evolution, a mission-driven business, or any model where trust and reliability matter, the ideas here can be especially practical. The benefit to a reader's life is not only business performance but also alignment. It helps you design a company that fits your goals for control, stability, and purpose. By focusing on sustainable economics, resilient governance, and culture as infrastructure, the approach can reduce the stress and fragility that come from chasing perpetual acceleration. Compared with many entrepreneurship books that celebrate hyperscale outcomes, Another way stands out by taking longevity seriously as the primary metric and by spotlighting the strategic trade-offs behind financing, pace, and incentives. It offers a credible alternative for readers who want to build something that endures, supports employees and customers for the long haul, and compounds value year after year. For anyone seeking a roadmap beyond the standard playbook, it is a worthwhile purchase. If you would like to support Dave Whorton, you can buy the book through the Amazon link I've provided in the podcast description. After reading the book, please let me know what you think and share your thoughts. See you around.